Stop staring at static CLI syntax and hoping for the best. Most CCNA students do not fail because they are lazy. They fail because they memorize commands instead of understanding the logic behind them. They know how to type commands. They know how to copy configurations. But when OSPF neighbors do not form, when routes disappear, when users complain that the network is down, they freeze. And that is the real problem. Because networking is not just about typing commands. Networking is about thinking. It is about troubleshooting. It is about understanding why something works and why something breaks. Today, we are changing that. In this video, I will show you how ChatGPT can become your personal senior network engineer. A mentor that helps you build labs, break labs, fix problems, understand OSPF failures, generate packet tracer scenarios, and most importantly, think like a real network engineer. This is not about using AI to cheat. This is about using AI to master networking. Part 1. The problem with traditional CCNA study. For years, CCNA students have studied the same way. They open a PDF. They watch a lecture, they copy commands, they memorize syntax, and they think, okay, I understand networking. But then a real troubleshooting problem appears, and suddenly, everything becomes confusing. Because in the real world, nobody tells you, please configure OSPF using this exact command. No, in the real world, someone says, the branch office cannot reach the server. Or, OSPF neighbors are stuck. Or, the network was working yesterday, but today it is broken. That is when memorization fails. That is when logic matters. And that is exactly where ChatGPT becomes powerful. Not as a shortcut, not as a cheat sheet, but as a 24/7 virtual mentor. A senior network engineer that can guide you, question you, challenge you, and help you understand the why behind every command. Part 2. Turning ChatGPT into a virtual senior engineer. The biggest mistake students make with ChatGPT is this. They ask weak questions. They ask, what is OSPF? And yes, ChatGPT will answer, but the answer will be basic. If you want better results, you need to give ChatGPT a role. For example, you can say, act as a senior Cisco network engineer and CCNA instructor. Do not just give me commands. Explain the design logic, verification steps, and common mistakes. Quiz me after each answer. Now the conversation changes. Now ChatGPT is not just giving you information, it is training you. It can explain why OSPF needs matching area IDs, why hello and dead timers matter, why wildcard masks are used, why passive interfaces improve security, and why verification commands are just as important as configuration commands. This is where the magic happens. You are no longer just memorizing, you are learning. You are no longer just copying commands. You are thinking like an engineer. Part 3. Learning CLI syntax with real understanding. Cisco CLI can feel confusing in the beginning. Some commands are global, some commands are interface level, some commands belong under the routing process. For example, hostname R1. That is a global configuration command. But IP address 192.168.1.1, 255.255.255.0, that belongs under an interface. And network 192.168.1.0, 0.0.0.255, area 0, that belongs under the OSPF routing process. A beginner only memorizes these commands, but a real engineer understands where they belong and why. So do not just ask ChatGPT, give me OSPF commands. Instead, ask, explain each OSPF command by configuration mode. Tell me which commands are global, which are interface level, and which belong under the routing process. Also explain why each command is needed. That is a much better prompt, because now ChatGPT is not just giving commands, it is teaching structure. And once you understand structure, troubleshooting becomes much easier. Part 4. Building Custom Packet Tracer Labs. Now let's talk about labs. Labs are where real learning happens. But here's the problem. Most students use pre-made labs. And yes, pre-made labs are useful, but after some time, they become predictable. You already know what the problem is. You already know what commands the lesson wants. You already know where the solution is going. That is not real troubleshooting. Real troubleshooting is unpredictable. And this is where ChatGPT becomes your secret weapon. You can ask, create a CCNA-level packet tracer lab with 3 routers, 2 switches, and 4 PCs. The topic should be single area OSPF. Give me the topology, IP addressing table, configuration tasks, and verification commands. Do not give me the final solution until I ask. Now you have a custom lab, a fresh lab, a lab that forces you to think. You can ask for VLANs. You can ask for DHCP. You can ask for NAT. You can ask for OSPF. You can ask for static routes. You can ask for troubleshooting tasks. And then you can make it harder. You can say, now modify this lab so one router has an incorrect wildcard mask and another router has a passive interface mistake. Give me only the symptoms, not the answer. Now the network bites back. Now you are not just building, you are diagnosing, you are investigating. You are becoming stronger. Part 5. Creating broken configurations. Most students practice building networks, but they do not practice fixing broken networks. And that is a big mistake, because in real IT jobs, you will often inherit someone else's broken configuration. So use ChatGPT to create broken labs. Ask, generate a broken OSPF configuration for 3 routers. Include 3 mistakes, 1 area mismatch, 1 wrong network statement, and 1 shutdown interface. Do not tell me where the mistakes are. Give me show command outputs that I can use to diagnose the issue. Now ChatGPT becomes a troubleshooting lab generator. It can give you outputs like show IP OSPF neighbor, show IP route, show IP interface brief, show running config. And now your job is to investigate. Not guess, not panic. Investigate. You ask, is layer 1 working? Are the interfaces up? Is IP addressing correct? Are OSPF neighbors forming? Are routes appearing in the routing table? Can the devices ping each other? That is how engineers think, step by step, layer by layer, command by command. Part 6. ChatGPT as a network chaos agent. Now let's make this even more powerful. You can tell ChatGPT to act as a chaos agent. That means it creates problems for you to solve. You can prompt, act as a network chaos agent. Give me a CCNA-level network outage scenario. Describe the symptoms from the user's perspective. Then, let me ask troubleshooting questions one by one. Only reveal information when I ask for the correct show command. Now ChatGPT may say, users in VLAN 20 cannot reach the internet. Users in VLAN 10 are working fine. The issue started after a switch configuration change. What do you check first? Now you have to think. Is it a VLAN issue? Is it a trunk issue? Is it a default gateway issue? Is it DHCP? Is it routing? Is it NAT? This is not passive learning. This is active troubleshooting. And this is how you build confidence. Because the CCNA exam does not only test what you remember, it tests how well you understand. Part 7. Learning the why behind commands. A weak student asks, what command do I type? But a strong student asks, why does this command work? That is the difference. So when you study with ChatGPT, keep asking why. Ask, why do we use wildcard masks in OSPF instead of subnet masks? Ask, why do OSPF hello and dead timers need to match? Ask, why is my OSPF neighbor up, but the route is not appearing in the routing table? Ask, why does this command belong under the interface instead of global configuration mode? Every why makes you stronger. Every explanation builds logic. Every troubleshooting step builds confidence. And that is how you move from memorization to mastery. Part 8. Using verification checklists. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is this. They configure something and immediately assume it works. But engineers do not assume. Engineers verify. So after every lab, ask ChatGPT, create a step-by-step verification checklist for this OSPF lab. Include the command, what I should expect to see, and what it means if the result is wrong. Now you get a checklist. First, check the interfaces. Use Show IP Interface Brief. The interfaces should be up. Second, check OSPF neighbors. Use Show IP OSPF Neighbor. The neighbor state should be full. Third, check routes. Use Show IP Route OSPF. You should see OSPF routes in the routing table. Fourth, test connectivity. Use ping. Use traceroute. Confirm the path. This habit is powerful because configuration is only half the job. Verification is the other half. Part 9. Preparing for the future of networking. The networking world is changing. Today, engineers are not only expected to know routers and switches, they also need to understand automation, programmability, APIs, controllers, cloud networking, security, and AI-assisted operations. That means the future engineer is not just a keyboard executor. The future engineer is a designer, a troubleshooter, a thinker, someone who understands the network deeply enough to use AI safely and effectively. Because AI can help you move faster, but only your knowledge can tell you whether the answer is correct. That is why fundamentals still matter. Actually, they matter more than ever. ChatGPT does not replace networking knowledge. It makes networking knowledge more powerful. Part 10. Final roadmap. So here is your roadmap. Choose one CCNA topic, for example, OSPF. Then ask ChatGPT to explain it. Next, ask ChatGPT to create a packet tracer lab. Then build the lab yourself. After that, ask ChatGPT to break the lab. Troubleshoot the problem using show commands. Then explain your solution back to ChatGPT. Ask it to grade your reasoning. This creates a complete learning cycle. Learn, build, break, troubleshoot, verify, explain, repeat. That is how you become strong. Not by memorizing commands for one exam, but by training your brain to think like a real network engineer. Closing. So, is ChatGPT revolutionizing CCNA preparation? Yes, but not because it gives quick answers. It is powerful because it creates interactive practice, unlimited labs, unlimited failures, unlimited explanations, unlimited troubleshooting scenarios, unlimited chances to test your logic. Students who use AI only to copy answers will stay weak, but students who use AI to challenge themselves will become better engineers. So the next time you study CCNA, do not just ask, what is the command? Ask, why does this command matter? What can break? How do I verify it? How would I troubleshoot this under pressure? That is the future of networking education. That is how ChatGPT helps you move from memorization to mastery. Now it is your turn. Open Packet Tracer. Pick one CCNA topic. Ask ChatGPT to build you a lab. Then ask it to break that lab. And when you fix it, you will not just remember the command, you will understand the network. And that is the real goal.